What is going on, my dudes and dudettes? It's Sean here with S&S Serpentarium. I'm just chilling now with my Woma python, and as you can see by the title, today is just going to be a quick video on the Woma python versus the spotted python. So the categories are going to be then size, hardiness, handleability, feed response, and enclosure size. So kicking off then. Sorry, I got something stuck in my throat a sec. Right, just to kick off, the snakes look very different. They're both from Australia. You can see the Woma python's got a nice orange belly. Okay, that's pretty cool, and it's got a nice orange head with sort of like eyebrow effects. If I can just show you there. Okay, I don't know how well the camera's picking that up. There you go. So Woma pythons, they get anywhere between 4 and 6 feet. They're pretty lean snakes, I would say. They're not fat like the royals. They're not thick at all and girthy. Okay, they've got a nice lean physique to them. So they're not a heavy bodied snake at all, but they do get quite long sometimes. They're pretty easy to care for overall. They're very similar care to the spotted python in many regards, given that they live in the same country. So there's not a massive difference there. The biggest difference really is going to be the size. So hardiness. Again, as I've just said, these guys are just as hardy really as the spotted pythons, maybe even slightly hardier, but they are more difficult to breed from what I've heard. So maybe if that comes into your hardiness and ease of care, then maybe that's something to bear in mind. These tend to they don't need much humidity, so that's something to bear in mind. Just keep an eye on the humidity, good ventilation, and then you won't run into any problems as long as the hot spot's decent and the cold end is decent where it should be. And where it should be is 92 degrees Fahrenheit hot and around 80 to 83 degrees on the cool end. Now as long as you keep it around that temperature, okay, you're going to be good as gold. You can't go far wrong with these care-wise. Handleability, as you can see, this girl is good as gold. You can get some examples that are a bit food aggressive, but from my experience with this girl, she's good as gold, and a lot of other people tell me theirs is good as gold as well. So as long as you keep up the handling, you shouldn't really run into too many problems with that. Enclosure size. Now this is going to be a bit of an odd one here, just because these need a little bit more sort of vertical and horizontal space, whereas the spotteds need that little bit more vertical space. These, a lot of times, they live underground, but they do come out a lot. They do explore a lot. I would recommend for these about a 4x2. That'd be great for most specimens. If you've got a particularly large specimen, perhaps go for a 4x2, 5x2 even. Whereas the spotteds, I'd go for a 3x3, a 3x2, or a 4x2, or something like that. But yeah, climbing space is just as important really as the horizontal space, because they will climb, but there is a bit of room on the 2 foot high vivs for them to climb, so that's alright. Just fill it up with branches and stuff. These, you don't need to worry as much about the branches and stuff. Just a nice dry loose shifting substrate and you're golden. Cost then, these guys are quite expensive, to be honest, in the UK. I had quite a good reasonable price on mine from a shop, believe it or not, a very good shop. So shout out if you're watching, you know who you are. I paid £200 for this girl. I've seen a lot of people, advertise advertise their snakes, or pet shops or whatever, Woma advertising Womas for up, you know, 350 or more. But 200 to 300 you can't expect to pay that for sure, especially if it's a grown on example. So that's something to bear in mind. Whereas the Womas, you can get them as low as even £60 if you go to a private breeder. Sorry, not Woma, spotted. If you go to a private breeder, you can get them as low as £60, but you can actually pay up to £180 if you need to go to a shop to actually get you spotted. And if in your particular area they're quite in demand and there's not many of them around, then you will be looking at that higher end price, unless of course you go to the shows or whatever, or you get one couriered closer to you. But that is yeah, other than that, they're pretty similar snakes really, not in appearance or anything like that, but they're similar in the sort of care and their feeding response as well. That's really similar. They're both fantastic feeders. I find these never skip meals for me at all, to be honest. They eat like absolute steam trains, so with that then you do need to watch that they don't get fat. These snakes are prone to obesity given their awesome feeding response, but feeding response wise it's a draw for them. I'll just get the spotted out now and have a little closing sort of chat and anything I've left out as to this far. So hold on 2 seconds. Right, so the spotted python then, this girl here, this is about as big as a male would ever get actually. A female might, this is actually a female, she's a sub-adult. I'm expecting it to get a little bit bigger, a little bit longer, a little bit more heavy set than this, but this is about as big as they get. Whereas the Womas, they are actually quite a lot larger. That girl I just showed you there, she's only about 6 months old, whereas this girl here is over 2. So that just shows you the massive size difference really that you can expect as an adult. But it depends on what you're looking for. If you want something smaller, more manageable, then this is the snake for you. They're definitely great alternatives to the carpet pythons and alike. They're very similar to carpet pythons, whereas the Woma python is not really similar to anything other than a black-headed python really. But that we'll talk about another time, because that's not the topic of today. Yeah, so handling these then, they're very different to handling the Womas. They're much more grippy and climby. They're active, they're both active snakes, they're both quite inquisitive, and they're really both amazing to handle, to be honest. They don't stress out at all, which is why I really like handling them. They've got similar care requirements as I've said earlier, but the main difference is, guys, is the size really, and obviously the colour. They're very differently coloured. Okay, I think they're both gorgeous. You can get a really good looker there. I think they both drop dead gorgeous. Okay, I'd never be without either species. I wouldn't want to pick one over the other, because I love the both of them. If I was new coming into the hobby, I probably would pick the Woma python, sorry, the spotted python, just because it's that little bit smaller. They've got a lot of character for a small snake, okay, to be honest with you. And as well, like, I just think they look really cool, to be honest. Obviously, I really think the Woma's gorgeous as well, but these kind of remind me of sort of little anaconda type things with their pattern. And I just think they're great. Obviously, the size thing and the feeding is quite key though, guys. If you're new, please don't overfeed it if you get one of these, because it's very easy to do. You need to be quite on the ball with that when it's an adult. But that would be my pick if I was new. Obviously, it's personal preference. I'll put the link to both my Woma python and my spotted python videos above in cards throughout the video, so you can actually watch whatever you choose to watch. I hope you've enjoyed this, guys. Please just bear in mind with either species, well, just because they're easier snakes to keep, you shouldn't not keep them properly, and you shouldn't do the homework that they deserve. But yeah, they're both gorgeous species, both suitable for beginners, and you can't really go far wrong with either one. As a pet snake, they're fantastic. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. I enjoyed making them, as always. If you're new around here, make sure you subscribe, smash the notifications icon, destroy that like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.